welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Briain. Joining me this week are Maisie Adam, Rhys James and Jen Brister, Angela Barnes, Hugh Dennis and Ahir Shah. We start with a round called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what is happening. So what's going on here?
If you see something that doesn't look right, report it to a member of staff. We'll sort it. See it, say it, sorted.
This is the new Fast and the Furious movie. Too fast, too expensive.
I think this is possibly the 720 to Shit Creek.
Is this Boris is angry that he was denied a family rail card because it would bankrupt National Rail?
Is he saying, if you don't hand me that iPad and let me watch Peppa Pig, I'm going to scream this...
Just to clarify, for anyone watching in the north, this is a train.
He's probably saying, no, honestly, Grant, if you get me a coffee, I'll give you a peerage.
This is Boris sitting on a train, which is a nice change from him lying on a bus.
The Queen of Country.
Wow.
Come on.
Looks like he's saying, you put your right arm in, you put your right arm out, because of Me Too, you can't bloody shake it all about.
Don't you hate it when there's a group of loud wankers on a train? So you go over to ask them to be quiet and they get so angry they bankrupt your nan.
You can really tell, can't you, how out of touch they are with real people. Look, I mean, they're on a train and not a single M&S snack.
The green bars above their heads make it look like they're on Street Fighter and they've got full head.
Does anyone have the correct answer? Are we in the correct general area?
It's Boris Johnson on the train because he cancelled the eastern leg of HS2.
Absolutely right. Thank you very much, Hugh Dennis. Yes, this is under fire Prime Minister Boris Johnson, pictured here on a train alongside Transport Secretary Grant Shapps. How has the government come off the rails recently, then?
Well, with that, I mean, HS2 is a big U-turn. It's taken 12 years so far to not build it.
Yep.
Now they're going to finish bits of it by 2040, I think. And frankly, I think I may well be dead by the time it arrives. But to be honest, I feel that about a normal train quite a lot.
What they've done is they've cut the eastern leg of HS2, which is going to make it a lot more difficult for me to get to Yorkshire, but to be honest, I'm not sure I'd have been that welcome anyway.
Keir Starmer came out and said that that the north of England has been betrayed, whereas Andy Burnham said, "The North shall revolt, we rise at dawn."
I love that Keir Starmer said the north of England has been betrayed. That might as well be what Keir Starmer says if you pull a string on his back. That's all he ever says. If you got a Keir Starmer toy for Christmas, it would just be, "The north has been betrayed. Please put me down, I need to self-isolate."
They worry so much about speed, but capacity's the problem, really, and I think that's a thing that a lot of men struggle to understand.
Really? I have to say, in my long history, I've never thought, well, I delivered her some capacity. I may not have done it quickly, but there was a load.
Yeah, but the Tories are made, you know, the cabinet's mainly made up of men, and they've never, ever been interested in HS2, have they? And I think it's mainly because Boris has confused it with HRT. And...
What did the Prime Minister announce his love of this week?
Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig, yes.
Peppa Pig, Sarah, he went to Peppa Pig World, he used Cameron's loyalty card, and he went straight through.
Yeah, did Gammons get in free to Peppa Pig World?
I just assumed that being Prime Minister means you're busy. I don't have time to go to Peppa Pig World.
Ahir, why would you possibly go to Peppa Pig World? It is very much a case of if you, as a solo, childless male, go to Peppa Pig World, you'll see a lot of people going, yeah, no, he's over at the... he's at the teacups. He's at the teacups. What's he going to do now? Oh, no, now he's in Miss Rabbit's shop of many cash registers. I know my Peppa Pig world.
People are angry now that he went to Peppa Pig World and mentioned Peppa Pig in a speech. Wait to see how angry people are in 2 weeks when Daddy Pig's been given the contract for the booster jet.
It was, Confederation British Industry did a speech which was in the Northeast, and then while, let's say, not nailing the speech, I'd be safe to say, there was 1 second, a 21-second gap where he totally lost his place and said, "Forgive me" 3 times, which is close to any apology as any of us are ever going to hear. And then he went into the Peppa Pig anecdote, including going to them, "Have you been to Peppa Pig?" to a load of people who live 450 miles away from Peppa Pigland. They go, "No, because there's no trains. We can't."
Even when he wasn't speaking, it wasn't great. When you actually listen to just the dead space of that speech, the way he breathes, that's not right. Did you hear it? It's like a Travelodge hairdryer.
He would be an amazing thing on the side of a bus during the next campaign. Just a picture of him with the way he breathes. It's not right.
It's not, it's not right.
He just uses so many words that don't make sense. He's like me when I was at university trying to meet a word count in an essay.
Did you ever get halfway through an essay and just randomly tangent into, has anyone ever been to Peppa Pig?
It's amazing. It felt like Peppa Pig World completely blew his mind. Can you imagine if he went to Euro Disney, he'd shit himself?
The what scandal has continued to plague Conservative MPs?
Oh, they've discovered that some of them are actually members of Parliament.
Yes. Yes. A tremendous shock to their employers.
It's sleaze, isn't it?
It is
Just goes
sleaze, yes.
on and on and on and on and on and on.
It's such a disgrace, this second job thing, when you consider the job market, right? There's famously not enough jobs to go around at the moment, and a bunch of Tory Southerners have got 2 each, whereas some poor Northerners like Ant and Dec have 1 between them.
I don't mind them having a second job if we can choose the second job that they've got. Like, I'm totally open to that. So I don't mind Dominic Raab, I don't know, rodding my septic tank. I'm completely...
I don't think we should... it's a bit rich for us to complain about second jobs. I mean, Hugh is a soup-obsessed scientist, and we know it. I play right back for Chelsea. I mean, we've all got stuff going on.
I'm like all other Irish people.
And I'm on the chase.
In other news, what is going on here?
Is that a photo finish at Sports Day at the Old People's Home?
If Biden's iPhone has to be unlocked by his face, I reckon that turkey has an 80% chance of being able to open it.
I was going to say, they're probably having a conversation who's got the shortest life expectancy.
Is it the toughest ever round of blindfolded prostate exam, who am I?
I think, actually, it might well be Joe Biden just going, "Now, where has that turkey gone?"
In fairness to her, Jill Biden absolutely nailed Halloween this year.
Yes, of course, this is US President Joe Biden Sr. pardoning turkeys named Peanut Butter and Jelly for Thanksgiving. It's been announced this week that Biden will be running for office again in 2024. But what was historic about President Biden's recent colonoscopy?
It was the first colonoscopy in history where they just found dust. You know what I mean? Like, the doctor came out of the room and is like, "We found a Roman coin up there." I don't know how that happened.
It was that while he was under anaesthetic...
Yes.
Kamala Harris was had presidential powers for an hour and 25 minutes.
Yes, she did.
Is the only time a woman has had any presidential power, and you know, the White House was spotless.
Sometimes.
But surely that's going to keep happening, isn't it, with Joe Biden? Surely, like, every day she's going to end up being president. It's like, oh, he's got an appointment with the chiropodist, oh, he's spilt some soup, oh, he's having a tricky poo.
If she is president when he's asleep, she is president. They do put you to sleep, though, because when I had a colonoscopy, because I'm a man of that age, I said, could I just do this under local as opposed to general anaesthetic? And the guy who was doing it turned to me and said, "You won't thank me after the first 3 or 4 feet."
Oh! They put feet in there.
All right. At the end of that round, the points of Angela, Hugh and Aher. Now, we play a round called HS Too Fast, HS Too Furious. This game involves Jen and Aher, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel for our first topic. The first topic is parenting. Who wants to come in with that? Jen.
Yes, I am a parent. I have twins with my partner. No, we're not solicitors. We are lesers. Just to be clear what our situation is, I am the non-biological mum and my girlfriend is the biological mum. And yes, that is how we refer to each other at home. Like we're boxes of detergent. She's personal, I'm Daz. That's just how we do it. Now, look, I don't know how everyone copes during lockdown, but I found it pretty difficult to create boundaries for our children during lockdown. It was tricky. And I think it was easier for my parents, because when I was a kid, it was the 80s, and it was easy to create boundaries for your children in the 80s, because if your kid was misbehaving, you just give them a slap. Yeah, no one judged you. People didn't judge you, society didn't judge you. In fact, if you were misbehaving in public as a kid, it was quite normal for people to look at you and go, why is no one hitting that kid? Sorry, is no one going to hit? Right, I'm going to hit it, right. And the parents would be like, oh, thanks, sweetheart, I've got my hands full, that was really... It's got quite tense, hasn't it? I feel like there's a little bit of judgment there. No one judges you harsher than another woman, OK? No one, yeah? Because there's always one mum doing it better than you. She can't keep that to herself, you know. She can't keep it to herself. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear your children aren't sleeping. Poor you. Oh, Johnny here. He's slept through since birth. Do you know what I think it is? I think it's something to do with the energy you give your children. I really believe that. And I think if you give your children positive energy, they really feed off that energy and they internalise it. And you know, this is the kind of woman that has a piece of her daughter's placenta around her neck, you know. She makes her own almond milk. I feel like saying to her, do you want to know why your kid is sleeping, love? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because you bored him to death. With your tedious courtesy, all stop worshipping bullshit.
Thank you very much, Brister. OK, that leaves you with Aher. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. It's home life. Where you go.
So, at the beginning of 2020, I just started living alone for the first time. That was a good idea, wasn't it? I'll see friends in the evenings. It's fascinating living on your own. I recommend it. You learn a lot about your friends, about society, yourself, yeah? Well, the first thing you learn is that when you live on your own, no one interferes, but equally, no one checks. It's like, everything all right in there? It isn't. It's fascinating. You learn how much of your normality was only ever a performance for your flatmates. I clocked within about a fortnight that it was only the continued presence of either Will or Tom that meant that I didn't always have at least some cum on me. My cum, but still an awful look, you know? I'm living my best life. This is what it looks like to see a young guy living his best life. What I was actually living through was a low-grade mental breakdown and a minor eating disorder. And this eventually came to a head after a couple of months when, right, guys, you know how you think you can't get scurvy? I am here to tell you that if for a period of, let's call it 2 months, very little passes your lips that is not gin or crisps, you can yourself begin to exhibit the telltale signs of scurvy. Despite the fact that you are not, and I cannot stress this enough, never have been an 18th century naval explorer. I'd have been fine mind if I just put lime in the gin? It's fine. I just started buying juice. How bad could it be if the cure's orange juice? But I'm not a doctor. I just look like I'd make an excellent one.
Thank you very much. And that round, points go to Jen. Come on back. Our next one is called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Jen, which category would you like?
World news.
OK, your topic is world news. The answer is 40,000. What is the question?
Is this how many chin hairs I've found since I've turned 40?
Is it how many new IMDb entries has Ramesh had this year?
Is it how many winks does Joe Biden have every afternoon?
Did you say winks?
I did say winks, yeah. I said winks.
Will this be the name of the final Adele album?
Is it if you wanted to prove that the sun shone out of your arse, what wattage bulb do you have to...
Is it, what is the decibel level when a dad sneezes?
Is it how many booster shots have we given the Queen?
Is it at the start of 2021 how many energy companies there were?
Is it how many years old do I feel when I go on TikTok?
Oh, please, do me a favour.
Is it how many forms you have to fill in if you want to import a sausage to Northern Ireland?
Is it how many people a white guy has to kill to get convicted in America?
Is it how many visitors has Peppa Pig World lost since Boris?
How much does Salt Bay charge for a tap water?
Is it if you shout the word Steve-O in Clapham, how many Australians will flock to you?
I think the actual answer is how many protesters were there in Austria over COVID regulations?
Yeah.
Absolutely right. Thank you very much, Hugh. Very good. Yes, the question was how many people marched against COVID restrictions in the Austrian capital, Vienna, this week? The demonstration was the largest single protest during a spate of civil unrest that swept across Europe as people took to the streets to oppose new lockdown measures in the face of a 4th wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. What do you make of the protests?
I can't get on board with this story without resorting to stereotypes, right? Because the Austrian health minister is called Wolfgang Muckstein. But the only way that could be more Austrian is if he made his announcements from a tower his stepmother had locked him in.
It was interesting seeing this demonstration in Austria, because there were loads of Austrians on the street shouting, "Down with the fascist dictatorship!" And you're like, "They'll let them never."
I'm really not worried about it spreading here, though, because there'll be no rioting in Britain, certainly no looting, because the shops haven't got anything in them.
So what level is Europe at the moment?
Level fucked. Well, I didn't know the answer, and I just...
Yeah, I know. Yes, Europe has a dramatic spike, which for France and Germany has almost brought it to the level that the UK has been at for 3 months.
The reason, we're supposedly OK is because we had the great policy from Boris of everyone got ill last year.
Yeah.
So now thinks it's fine. So now we're looking at Europe like we're a mean girl, going, "Oh, you've got a spike, have you? We did that last year."
2020.
Stop trying to make COVID happen. It's not going to happen.
I like the German health minister said that by the end of this, he expected all of everyone to be either cured, vaccinated or dead.
Jeez.
That's a bit like the German version of live, laugh, love.
In all these stories, they keep describing Angela Merkel as the outgoing German chancellor, which just makes it sound like she's trying to be really fun on a dating app. All the lockdowns, who wants to party?
Look, there are a lot of very angry people because they've been fed a lot of angry stuff for months and months and months. I occasionally, stumble into the crosshairs of people who are really angry about this stuff, particularly with the vaccine things. At the weekend, I got one because apparently I did a photo shoot once in which I do this. I have one hand on my eye, or I look to this, because you get bored during photo shoots. And apparently this means I'm a fascist, a secret fascist Freemason.
Oh, is that because you're showing the eye?
If you can show an eye, yeah. It apparently means that I am... Oh, my cover's blown.
Am I imagine them just seeing somebody, you know, on a bus, like going with a baby, like, whoop, whoop, oh, you're radicalising a toddler.
Oh, I'm a fascist. Not a fascist. Oh, I'm a fascist. Not a fascist.
Where is it the symbol of it? Where is that?
I don't know if it's a fascist Freemason, because any time I tried to ask them, they just went, no, we're not talking to you about this.
I think, is it an Illuminati thing?
Is it an
with
Illuminati?
the eye? It's an
is it?
Illuminati thing, I think. And if you're, like, framing your eye...
Am I part of the Illuminati?
I think you might be, Dara.
Oh, don't go... Is there like a badge? Do I get a little card?
You'll,
The Illuminati, not the brownies.
How has the TV ad for supermarket Tesco upset some people?
Because it shows Santa Claus showing a vaccine passport in an airport, not in the supermarket, in an airport where you do have to show a vaccine passport. But people, the anti-vaxxers got all upset about them, and I just say, well, they should have seen the earlier version where Mrs Claus died on a ventilator.
I mean, it's so easy to wind people up, isn't it?
It's not to angry really fast,
I sent in a complaint. This advert's ridiculous, OK? Couple of reasons. First of all, he doesn't need a vaccine passport. This is a man famous for sneaking, OK? He knows how to get around that. Secondly, he drives a sleigh, doesn't go through airports. And thirdly, the main thing I was livid about, he's got a phone. I've been writing him fucking letters.
It's almost poetic, isn't it, that the people who are upset about this think that COVID-19 is fake, but are very, very much still believing in Santa.
They're amazing. Wait till they find out the tooth fairies had the HPV vaccine.
I think it's great that they're boycotting Tesco's, because it means now Tesco's is the safest place to shop. There's no anti-vaxxers in there. If they could do TK Maxx next, that's my Christmas shopping store.
They're ironic, really, because the North Pole is full of snowflakes. With a bit of a laugh down the Freemasons Lodge about that.
You're so subtle when you see each other in the street.
Hello, Barry. Hello, Nora. see you down the old bang, bang. Run the world.
The only group you've just joined with that is the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Also, if you do keep doing that, Dara, you are going to confuse a lot of lesbians as well, so...
Oh, my God, does this mean I'm now lesbian?
You're a lesbian Freemason. How do you feel?
Jesus,
You've just let every lesbian in Britain know that you like scissoring.
Is that the scissoring code? Is there a scissoring code?
Holy crap, no, Reese.
Oh, my God.
At the end of that round, the points go to Jen, Reese and Maisie. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see, so if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and we'll see what our panels can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear on a quiz show.
Welcome to A Question of Sport. Question 1. How the hell did Paddy McGuinness get this gig?
And if you do win, what will you spend the money on? Plastic surgery, I imagine.
Next up on Naked Attraction, it's the bonus round. I said bonus.
Well, welcome back to the Wheel of Fortune Celebrity Special, where Greta Thunberg has won an SUV, a patio heater and 2 flights to America.
Hello, I'm Richard Osman, and I'm fucking massive.
In this game show, I'm just going to hold some gemstones on my forehead and leave it up to the powers that be. This is the Crystal Maisie.
You opted to text your lad's WhatsApp group instead of phone a friend. Are you sure your final answer is shut up, you nonce?
Complete the following sentence. Alec Baldwin thought the gun was loaded with blank.
We asked for things a doctor might find in a rectum. You said cucumber. Let's see if it's up there.
Welcome welcome to Tipping Point, the show where we find out the exact moment your mum decided to leave your dad.
Well, let's see how you got on. We asked you for a capital beginning with C, and you said capital C.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Lord Voldemort, and Dara O'Brien. Welcome to Eggheads.
So, this next question is for £1 million, which I will be paying from my own pocket. I will only ask this question once. What is...
Now it's time for Would I Lie to You, starring O.J. Simpson, Bill Clinton and the Vote Leave bus.
If confronted by a pack of wolves, should you A, play dead, or B, run away? Let's find out.
And now for the £1 million question. Reese, true or false? There is a scissoring code.
The next topic is bad people to work with.
Welcome to Yorkshire Cricket Club.
I'd give it a couple of minutes if I was you. Or maybe use another lift.
So, we operate a hot desk policy here, but we also operate an ugly desk policy, and that's where you'll be sitting.
Hey, so for Eileen's birthday, she's asked us to just do a quick whip around. And oh, the kinky bitch.
Yeah, no, he's all right to work with. It's just he doesn't really contribute much to the conversation. He just waits till you finish speaking and then presses a little buzzer.
Yeah, that's a funny thing about me. I don't eat sardines, but I do smell of them.
Sorry, the boss is angry at me for making innocent everyday phrases seem like threats just by cracking my knuckles. Well, I'm going to send him a message.
I'm actually quite anal, so stationery-wise, pencils, rubbers, paper clips, all of that goes right up my arse.
Oh, I'm so glad that you've all enjoyed the bread that I baked for you. I made it with yeast from my own urinary tract infection.
Oh, God, I'm so sorry. I've got piles to do. If I can find my cream.
The Q3 projections aren't quite good enough, which means that the gods are displeased and more blood is required.
My biggest weakness, probably my honesty. There's 3 bodies under my desk.
Oh, your camera's off, John. If you just switch your camera, just press the button and switch your camera on. Why is it such a big deal? You're a fucking cameraman, mate.
OK, well, it was one of you here in analytics. Who ate my pie chart?
Sorry, do you mind if I have tomorrow off? I just checked my diary and it's my Dolmio day.
We have a zero-tolerance approach to bullying, so you fat, specky twat, you're going to have to leave.
We're in a paper-free office, which is where I like to work my ass with my hand. Lovely to meet you.
At the end of that round, the boys going to get Reese and Maisie. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Maisie Adam, Reese Jones and Jen Brister. Congratulations to Angela Barnes, Hugh and Ahershaw. Thanks for watching. I'm Darryl Green. Good night.
Well, imagine finding a bag of stolen money. What would you do? Yeah, me too. Join the Outlaws on BBC iPlayer now. And if you love stories about nudity, well, have we got a show for you? Wheel of Misfortune. Listen now, clothed, if possible, on BBC Sets.